Namaste. A very warm welcome to all of you for the first episode of Mahabharata series. This Mahabharata series contains over 178 masterpieces of Mahabharata paintings which are narrated to the audience with the story behind that. Let us begin this first session. Before that, let me give a brief introduction about Mahabharata. Mahabharata is a great Indian epic where the main story revolves in and around cousins of Kuru dynasty, that is Pandavas and Kauravas, who fought each other in Kurukshetra war for the throne of Hastinapura. There is another dynasty by name Yadavas. Lord Sri Krishna, who is from Yadava dynasty, plays an important role to help Pandavas to get the throne of Hastinapura. Besides to this, there are more smaller stories which are the part of the Mahabharata epic, which plays a major role in one or the other aspects. Krishna Dvaipayana Vasa or Vyasa Maharshi himself is a character in this epic who composed it. He dictated the verses to Lord Ganesha, who wrote them down. At over 1,000 verses, it is the longest poem ever written. It is thought to have been composed in the 4th century BCE or earlier to that. The events in the epic play out an Indian subcontinent and surrounding areas. This story also includes within it the Bhagavad Gita. The Mahabharata is the most important text of ancient India, indeed the world literature. Founder of Kuru dynasty is the King Kuru, who was one of the ancestors of Mahabharata family tree. He was the son of Tapati. Tapati happens to be the daughter of sun god, Surya Deva. And Samvarana. Samvarana happens to be the son of Riksha. We are beginning this story from Shantanu, who is the king of Kuru dynasty. Let us watch this first episode and get back again. Let's catch up again in this episode. Thank you. Over to the episode. Mahabharata is one of the great epic of India. It is believed that sage Vyasa conceived Mahabharata, and also he was one of the characters in this epic. He thought that it is too good a story to be written by an ordinary scribe. Because of this reason, sage Vyasa approached Lord Ganesha to write this great epic Mahabharata. But he had one condition. Lord Ganesha put across his condition by saying that he would write the Mahabharata epic only if sage Vyasa would recite it to him non-stop without a pause. Sage Vyasa agreed to his condition, but he also puts a counter condition. Then sage Vyasa says that Lord Ganesha would not write anything without fully understanding the sentence of the plot. Both of them have agreed for each other's condition, and the great epic Mahabharata story writing started to begin. Lord Ganesha was very quick at writing, and hence he wrote at a great speed. This is where the wisdom of sage Vyasa prevailed. He puts across uh, some complex sentences in between, which Lord Ganesha would take some time to understand and write it down. In between, Sage Vasa could take a breath, and also he could think like what has to be the next sentence of the plot. While writing the epic at a great speed, Lord Ganesha broke the stylus with which he was writing the epic. Since he could not stop writing the epic, he broke a piece of his tusk and continued writing the epic. This is one of the stories that describe why Lord Ganesha is also known as Ekadanta. That means one who has one tusk. This act of Lord Ganesha tells us that when it comes to gaining knowledge, no amount of sacrifice is enough. In this painting, I have depicted Sage Vasa dictating the epic to Lord Ganesha. You could also see lot of eatables to keep Lord Ganesha happy while writing the epic. This was arranged by Sage Vasa. One day, the great king of Kuru dynasty, Shantanu, went to the forest for hunting. He saw a pretty young woman at the riverside. She introduced herself as Ganga. After some time, Shantanu expressed his wish to marry her. Ganga told him a condition in order to marry him. The condition is after marriage, she will behave as she likes, and Shantanu should not oppose for this. The moment Shantanu opposes, she will leave and go away. Shantanu agrees for this and he promises her that he will keep up his promise and he marries her. This painting depicts Shantanu is promising Ganga on her condition. Life was good after the marriage. Soon after giving birth, Ganga floated her 7 children, one after the other, into the river. This painting depicts Ganga floating one of her baby floating into the river. Till then, Shantanu did not question her for whatever her act was. When she took her eighth child to float in the river, Shantanu obviously stopped her and asked the question. Ganga told that he violated her condition and vanished along with the baby. After Ganga moved away from Shantanu, after some time, few years, he forgot everything and kept himself busy in kingly duties. This painting depicts that Ganga is vanishing from Shantanu. Sharadvana was a famous sage of sage Gautama lineage. This sage was well versed in Vedas, Puranas, and had reached a very high position in finance. This speciality of the sage is he was also a very good archer. Lord Indra's eyes fell on the fame of the sage. Lord Indra happens to be the king of Devaloka. That means he is the king of all gods, goddesses. He sent an apsara by name Janapadi and made her to trap this sage with her charm. As per the plan, Janapadi charming the sage Sharadvana and gave birth to twins, one boy and a girl. So, ideally, these apsaras create a kind of confusion. They play around the minds of the sage. They create confusion, illusion, and maya. That means one will not know and understand what he is doing at the moment, whether it is right or wrong. Nothing, no logic works once Apsara attacks an human being. After this incident, the sage Sharadvana realized that his mistake after coming out of the attachment. He left his twin children there and went away carrying his kamandala, bow, and arrows. This painting depicts how badly an apsara can mesmerize the sage Sharadvana. She is really mesmerizing him on his body, mind, and soul. So I have tried to show using best of my creativity in arriving at this painting. One day, King Shantanu goes to the forest for a picnic. He finds twin babies. Concerned, he took both the babies to the palace and grows them. They were named as Kripa and Kripi. Kripa was boy, Kripi was girl. Later on, he grows up to be a Kripacharya, the Kuluguru of Kuru lineage. Kripi would marry to Dronacharya in future. So this is how the Sharadvana's children were taken care by King Shantanu. This painting depicts Shantanu taking both the twins and to his palace. One day, a boy built a bridge across the river with his arrows. Shantanu saw this and was inquiring about this boy. Suddenly, Ganga appeared. She informed Shantanu that the boy was his eighth son. She looked after him and she made him to learn all Vidyas from sage Vasishta. He learned the skill of war and using Astra Shastra Vidya from Parashurama. So Gange, after vanishing from Shantanu with this boy, she has ensured that all required good education, proper trainings, war weapons, war skills, archeries, etc. So now Ganga asked him to accept this child and she disappeared. This painting depicts Ganga comes back with Devabrata, her eighth son, and she hands over this boy to his father Shantanu, and she disappears. The depiction is basically Gange comes back and hands
Welcome
over
back to all of
the
you.
eighth
Hope
son of
you have
Shantanu
enjoyed
back
this
to
first episode. I'm sure in this episode you must be having a question why Ganga behaved with Shantanu like this. There is a short story behind this. It is regarding the Vasus. Vasus are the attendant deities of Indra and later Vishnu. They are 8 elemental gods representing aspects of nature. The name Vasu means the dweller. They are 8 among the 33 gods. Let us understand these 8 Vasus and their meanings respectively. Anala means the fire. Dhara means the earth. Anila means the wind. Aha means the space. Pratyusha meaning the light or the sun. Prabhasa meaning the sky. Soma meaning the moon. Dhruva meaning the stars. These are 8 Vasus. One day, these 8 Vasus were traveling with their wives. They happened to see Nandini, a beautiful cow which was inside Vasistha's, sage Vasistha's ashram. Prabhasa's wife, they liked this cow and she wanted to take this cow away to her place. At the beginning, Prabhasa refused it. However, he could not refuse and make her wife unhappy. So, all Vasus put together, they took this cow and went away. When sage Vasistha came back to the ashram, he found Nandini was missing. With his divine vision, he found Vasus have taken away his cow. Then sage Vasistha cursed these 8 Vasus to take birth as mortal men in this world. When Vasus came to know about this curse, they ran away and fallen on the feet of Vasistha. Then Vasistha told them that this curse cannot be taken back. However, he has asked to go and meet goddesses Ganga where she could help them. Accordingly, all 8 Vasus met goddesses Ganga to be their mother on earth and asked her to relieve immediately after the birth. But as per sage Vasistha, this was not allowed for Prabhasa because he was the one who took the cow Nandini out of his ashram. That is why goddesses Ganga married Shantanu and given birth to 7 children, and she floated all 7 children into the river and given mukti. But for the 8th son, that is Prabhas, took birth and he is later named as Devavrata. This Devavrata in the story becomes Bhishma going forward and he will have to live the life of a mortal man. This is the reason why goddesses Ganga came to earth and she killed all 7 children except one. He is Devavrata. Later, this man becomes popular with the name of Bhishma. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Whoever wants to buy the printed versions of these arts, what you have seen in this episode, can visit swamiarts.com and buy it online. You will receive these pictures through courier. We shall meet again next week with another interesting episode. Shubhamastu.
If you like this video and watch the upcoming videos of our channel, kindly subscribe the channel.